Nexxlegacy.
First and foremost, being a fan of meaningful sitcoms and meaningful acting throughout the years and the careers. In this particular career, I've always looked up to the grind, the hustle, and doing it at such a young age and appreciating how this particular sitcom made me feel and my household feel throughout the years. And before I even say her name, let me give you ladies and you gentlemen a dose of what I'm talking about.
Oh! Oh! You're playing that! I see that.
We know what we're doing. And we don't need no Howard Cosell with peanut butter in her mouth to describe the game.
I'm telling Mama you playing dice. Oh, hi, Mama.
Oh, hello, baby. How come your room is such a mess?
How do you know?
How do I know that pigs like mud? Go clean it.
Okay. Oh, should I tell Roger to come downstairs and stop playing dice and say hello?
Is he upstairs playing dice again?
Oh, my. Did I say that?
And I want to welcome Miss Danielle Spencer-Fields into the house tonight on Brandon After Dark. What's up, Danielle?
Hi, how are you, Brandon? Nice to talk to you.
Same here, same here. You know what? Just you just bring back so many memories throughout just not just listening to this particular one. I just know it from moments of listening and looking at sitcoms for so long. But I just want to thank you for what you gave us. I mean, me in particular, but I know the listeners out there listening. Thank you for just the time you put into your craft, the fact that you gave us your gift of acting.
Wow,
thank you very much.
Thank you. And I mean, the only thing I can say is I had fun. And I guess to some degree I may have even been acting out one of my dreams, you know, to be sassy without being punished. So, yeah, it was all in fun, though.
As a child growing up through those times, when did you find out that, you know what, this acting was just something that I was meant to do? It was a God-given talent, and I need to make sure that I do what I need to do to show that to the world.
Right. Well, originally my stepfather was the actor in the family, and just going out on auditions with him, seeing the response that he would get from producers and, you know, when he would do commercials, and then also he acted in a lot of stage plays at our acting school, and the audience just loved it. And, you know, like most kids, you love all of that attention, and when someone thinks you're funny, if that's your gig or if you're a singer, I mean, it makes you feel good. So, of course, I was drawn to a profession that actually made me feel good about what I was doing. And it's just important, you know, in any career that you do have to continue to study and continue to try to make yourself better in your craft.
Right.
So acting school was a must.
And throughout that time, did you know, especially when you were doing both What's Happenings, with the first one, of course, and What's Happening Now, and you've gone on to do movies and other things as well, but I mean, did you know like that was the cornerstone of, you know, wow, people are going to still continue to remember the work that you did years and years down the line?
No, I had no clue, and I'm so being honest with you, because, you know, once the show ended in '79, I, you know, went on like most actors trying to get my next gig and continuing with school. And once the show was called back in the '80s, I was quite surprised, to be honest. I mean, I, you know, certainly received a lot of admiration from fans on the street and letters, but I never thought they would bring the show back. Of course, they changed the focus a little bit, but I was surprised. And then even now when I see people at, different shows, like autograph signings, I'm always amazed that they even remember our lines and remember the show because, it was so many years ago. However, it had a dramatic impact on my life, and I'm so glad that it helped a lot of other people, too.
With you being an inspirational young lady, not just as a young actress, but also now I know a lot of people still continue to follow you and appreciate that what you've done. Did you have any kind of struggles growing up as a childhood star at that particular time? Because you heard so many different things from so many child actors and actresses about their shortcomings. I mean, did you have any everybody gets peer pressure, but did you have any kind of different difficulties growing up?
I suppose, I was, definitely my mom was a major force in my life. And, to be honest, she really just never allowed me to be exposed to some of the negativity because she knew what was going on. And, I may have not had any idea, for instance, a lot of the cast parties and a lot of the shows that we would have to go to advertise for our show, I wasn't allowed to go to. And, all of these happened after 6 or sometimes after midnight, and my mother was like, no, she's going to be in bed by, 8, 9 o'clock, and I don't care what anybody says. And, she just kind of held it down like that. So I think I was fortunate in that aspect that I wasn't exposed. But, looking back and remembering some things that could have happened, I can see where there could have been a potential, for some negativity, definitely. But I fortunately, I did not see any drugs or anything like that when I was coming up. But I'm sure had I gone to some of these parties or whatever, that it would have been there because it's been around forever.
Yeah, and it just amazes me too that again, I mean, a lot of it does stem from your parents, your mom in particular, just kind of letting you know the rules. Like, you may be on TV, but your bedtime is still 8 o'clock.
She sure did. I mean? And I was pouting and everything. I thought I was going to get my way. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm on the show. Really, I think I just thought that because had it even come out my mouth, I probably would have been picking myself up off the floor. But, I knew my place. Let's just say that in the house.
Right. and that kind of brings me to this. I have this thing, Danielle, and I got to be honest. Growing up, I would always go back and I would look at classic sitcoms. I mean, if it's just from What's Happening to Good Times to so many different ones because the originality was there. There wasn't a What's Happening. Not a spinoff, but no one was really trying to take that thunder, so to speak, back in the day. Everybody had their own lane. So, my question is, what happened? Why did it go from so much creativity to everybody trying to copy everybody?
Right, and a lot of kind of, I guess, dumbing down even.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I understand everybody has a hustle. You got to feed your families and so forth, but I think maybe earlier on, a lot of these stories were kind of brand new. Even, Good Times, which even came before us, a lot of these stories were original. And unfortunately, because they worked so well, now you're doing kind of the same stories. And, for instance, many of these sitcoms, I can tell you the lines before they even say it, and that's unfortunate. I love a lot of the dramas that come out. I mean, I'm stuck on those. Okay. And, I'm guilty, too. I watch a lot of reality TV, sometimes when I just want to laugh at somebody else. Right. And maybe not deal with something that's going on in my life. But for 90% of the television to be reality, it's a little bit, uneven. I mean, can we have a little bit of everything, so we have more to choose from instead of everybody trying to be the loudest, baddest, cussingest, whatever on TV just so that they can get a TV show.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Does the reality shows, because of course you mentioned it, it's rampant. It's just the thing that everybody gravitates to nowadays. does that hurt the art form of acting, though?
It does change it. It certainly does change it. But I think what I'm beginning to see is a lot of the reality star people who, had it not been for the show, maybe we would never have known about them. But
True.
now they do want to become actors and actresses. And I do find that a lot of them are believing in taking acting classes and going through it and trying to improve themselves because they see it takes a lot of work. To do that. It looks like it's easy on camera when you're trying to be something that you're not, which is different than being on the shows, perhaps, and
I'm not an actor at all, but I know doing reality shows, from what I hear from other reality show, quote-unquote, celebrities, that there is a typecasting that comes along with being on reality shows, and they kind of fall into that trap. Or they let the reality show fame get to their head, and they just really don't know how to handle success in a lot of occasions. But I have yet to really see a lot of people transition from being on reality TV to being either on a comedy, on a major network, or on the big screen.
Yeah, I definitely have not seen the big screen, but I follow a couple of them on Twitter.
Okay.
And, I do read some of their, what they tweet, and some of them say they're taking acting classes. And, I admire that because it tells us that you are serious, that
True.
This isn't just like a one-trick pony. I can do a lot of different things. And for any job, you need to study whatever it is, that craft. Just make yourself better. That's all. That's
exactly. And we have Danielle Spencer-Fields in the house tonight on Branded After Dark. And, I know people were asking questions about your book. And before I actually get into that, when it comes to basically just the sitcom portion of what we talked about earlier, and it's not really someone that we can necessarily blame, but should we really try to be able to pave the way for letting these young producers know, or some of these people that do have power, that the only way that the acting, the art form of itself is going to survive is if we stay creative and do something completely different than the next person.
Right. Definitely. We have to, start thinking outside the box. And, again, another thing I admire is a lot of shows about, being the next best director, for instance, on like BET and TV One, where they really do focus on the art and having a lot of these young, hip producers. I mean, I meet many of them, actually, and they have so many great ideas, but again, it always comes back to funding. I think that's where, we may be lacking. But if they can get in front of enough people and know that you're going to get rejected, that's just a part of life, but just always keep coming back. Someone is bound to pick up that idea. It's just, the law of averages. The more you're out there, the more someone's going to hear you.
That is true. And not only are you an amazing actress, you also have a book, and definitely this show is brought to you by DanielleSpencer.net, where people can actually go to your website and go take a look and see what you have. But tell people about the book that you have out right now, and why did you get into the author arena?
I know I had no intention, believe you me, but what happened to me, I felt I just wanted to share some of the things that happened in my life. I didn't think about writing an autobiography until maybe much later on in life, but I had an incident happen to me about 8 years ago, where I had a spinal cord surgery, and how it basically changed my entire life and how I look at things. It also challenged my marriage, my family relationships, all of my friendships, and I felt because it had so much of an impact on my life, and I kind of saw myself come through on the other side. For instance, going through, the depression and the after surgery and dealing with the insurance companies and all of that. And then I came out on the other side, and I saw how much it helped some of the people that I spoke with at hospitals, I said, I've got to make this a book. So that's kind of what inspired me. And, of course, I did start it off with talking about my childhood and, what it was going to a historically black college and, some of the life lessons that I've had. But my major thing was really to help other spinal cord surgery survivors or those who, have families with some serious health issues and just, how to get through those times and how I really had to rely on God really to get me through.
Right on, definitely. And once again, where can they get that book? And it's available now, right? People can actually go get it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's available. You can go to my website, DanielleSpencer.net, and also it's available at Amazon. You can download it on Kindle. And hopefully I'll have it on iTunes in March. So I'm looking forward to that, too.
There you go. That's what I like to see. And people out there, definitely make sure it's going to be on our link on our websites, and people can be able to just go ahead and get it and support this young lady. And I know with the huge, massive fan base that you do have, there's a lot of people asking, are you going to get back into acting? Are you going to still get into that grind again? Are we going to see you on somewhere?
I know. Well, first of all, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it. But, yeah, I never kind of shut the door to acting. I've kind of left my life open to whatever comes to me because at this point I'm a veterinarian and I have been for 20 years.
Right on.
And I'm still loving that so much that it's hard to give that up. However, if the right part came along, I certainly would consider it, absolutely. But right now, I'm just appreciating life and, what's being handed to me at this point.
And that's all we can ask for, especially with you being a veterinarian and doing it for as long as you have, and that's another one of your passions that you do. And it's one thing that a lot of people nowadays should understand, the fact that if you really and truly love something, you do it, and you do it because you love to do it.
Because you
Never
love it.
do
That's right.
something you hate to do.
That is so right, because my mother said always choose something you would do for free, something that makes you cry at night. And, I knew, I'm like, I have to work with animals. And I have done it for free many times. And, it's something that continues to be my passion all these years later.
And Danielle, definitely, is it not spiritual therapy, too, especially if you love to do it and you would do it for free? That's
Absolutely.
Therapy.
It makes you feel so much better and makes you want to do things for others, too. Which is another one of my passions, doing things for people as well,
And before I let you go, one more question. And the one thing that especially with all the episodes that you've done on what's happening and also what's happening now, is there any shows or any one particular show that you was like, you know what? That was one of the hottest shows to me. And there's a handful of them, but
yeah,
do you have a favorite?
Are several. But I would say the episode where there was the baseball player from the Negro Leagues. He was in the hospital, and he hadn't spoken to his daughter in many years because she married a white person.
Right.
That was my favorite episode, actually. My favorite episode.
That was as well, because to me, I think that really kind of gave the viewers a little bit of a side to you that they probably didn't see as much, because
exactly.
You was really steadfast. It was really one of the stronger episodes to me too. That was a favorite, but also, of course, the one where Raj actually had to go. He actually went out to a party, and it was that whole Brave Bull cologne and all that stuff or whatever. That was classic too, though.
Yes, I love that. I loved the episodes with Mama too. I mean, she just added a special touch to the whole ensemble. It was great working with Mabel King. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to thank you. Not only thank you for coming on. Definitely don't be a stranger to the show. Come and hang out with us, and anytime that you got insight on acting and even some vet questions that people may have for you or something like that, you can come hang out with us anytime.
Okay, thank you. That would be so much fun.
Definitely.
I would like that.
Definitely. Thanks a
Thanks
lot
again.
for calling. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure. Have a good evening.
All right, you do the same. People, don't forget, make sure you go to DanielleSpencer.net. Go get that book. It is available. And Danielle, let the listeners know, what is it called one more time?
Yeah, it's Journal of a Child Star.
There you go.
Through the Fire, Journal of a Child Star.
There you go. People is actually getting on Amazon right now. Go get it.
Yay! Thanks again.
Take care, and many blessings to you and your family, and just keep doing what you do. I've always been proud of you, and you didn't even know who I was, so thank you.
Thank you. You as well.
All right,
Bye-bye.
You take care. That is the beautiful Danielle Spencer-Fields, branded After Dark.
Nexxlegacy.